And I am honored, and I thank the event organizers, and I thank you for listening to me. There's a couple comments that I would really like to make, and that is that this land that we're on is Dakota land. This land is part of the Treaty of 1805. It involves about 155,000 acres, and most of St. Paul and Minneapolis set on this land. And what I wanted to tell you and ask the question of these capitalists and millionaires and Republican types is, or tell them that we weren't paid for this land. And I think it's about time that they pay for this land. As one of my Anishinaabe brothers said, Vernon Belcourt, he said, it's the end of the month and the rent is due. I want to say also this, that I come from a people whose lands were stolen, so I look at history differently than the people who stole the lands. I come from a people whose treaties were broken, so I look at history differently than the people who broke the treaties. I come from a people who were victims of genocide, so I look at history differently than the people who perpetrated the genocide. When these people first came, the first capitalists came here to this land some 519 years ago, that I don't know what their motivation was. One writer said they came here for gold or God, glory, and greed, and not necessarily in that order. But when they came, they stole about 3 billion acres of land here in the continental United States. They broke over 400 plus treaties, and they perpetrated genocide on the indigenous peoples. And one of the things that Standard says, a white man who wrote the book American Holocaust, that by the 1900, there was almost no one left to kill. And that's part of the history of the indigenous peoples of this country. And it's a history that is suppressed. But I think the truth needs to be told, and I think it's people like you who will help tell that truth and make sure it's not suppressed. The other thing that I wanted to say is, you know, to some of these millionaires and to some of these Republicans who say they are Christians, seem like they forgot a couple of things that Jesus Christ said. One of the things he said is, for unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. Or he did say, I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. Naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. And they seem to have forgotten all of that. And the last thing I just wanted to say is, I'm with you people. I'm with, I was going to say the word about the word occupy. I appreciate that some of the organizers were worried about that word occupy, because for us, the strangers, they came, they invaded, they killed, they stole, they exploited, they suppressed, and they're still here. And so that's why that word occupy has a different meaning. But I know what they mean, and they are against the Wall Street, the millionaires, and the corporate exploiters, and I definitely agree and support that. And so I want to applaud the people who are doing these events, protesting Wall Street, big businesses, and corporate exploiters. One of the other last thing I want to say is that I once heard Evo Morales, who's the indigenous president of Bolivia, the South American country. One of the things he said, that it was the duty of all indigenous peoples to bring an end to capitalism. And I think maybe some of you are for that too, to bring an end to capitalism. And I'd just like to quote what my daughter says in her book, What Does Justice Look Like? And then I'll be done. She says that similarly, capitalism as it exists in the United States needs to be overturned. We must challenge any system in which profit making is the primary objective. The capitalist system is designed so individuals and corporations can amass wealth. The largest beneficiaries of capitalism are willing to pass on devastating costs to society and to the future generations who will inherit our desecrated planet. I thank you, people. Thank you very much.